asking you if you'd be willing to join Lisa and I and our staff in 21 days of fasting. And I just know that some of you don't know what fasting is, you don't know how to do it, you have questions about it. And so I thought I would take a few minutes each Sunday in December to kind of teach you and get you ready, try to answer a question or two about fasting, so when January comes, you're ready to go all in. And so today, the question that I want to try to answer is, why are we fasting for 21 days? And I have a short answer and I have a long answer. And the short answer is, I had to pick a number of days. The long answer is better than that. The long answer is that we actually see this in the Bible as a pattern. I'm going to show that to you. I do think it's important to know, I don't believe that it's prescriptive. I do believe that it's a pattern. But also, I believe that 21 days is both long enough and short enough. And I'm going to tell you what that means. So we find a 21-day fast in Daniel chapter 10. Daniel chapter 10, Daniel's the book of the Bible. It's also about the man named Daniel. And Daniel chapter 10 says, in the 3rd year of Cyrus, king of Persia, a revelation was given to Daniel. Its message was true, and it concerned a great war. The understanding of this message came to him in a vision. So Daniel hears from the Lord, and he hears this word that a great war is coming. He wanted clarity on that word that he heard. And so we see in the next verse, it says, at that time, I, Daniel, mourned for 3 weeks. And I know you're really smart. I'm not trying to insult your intelligence, but 7 days, 3 weeks is 21 days. I'm just trying to make sure you're catching the pattern that we see here. And it shows the fast because it says, I ate no choice food, no meat or wine touched my lips. I used no lotions at all until the 3 weeks were over. And on the 24th day of the first month, I was standing on the bank of the great river, the Tigris. I looked up, and there before me was a man dressed in linen with a belt of fine gold around his waist. And so he gets this word. He spends 21 days, and at the end of this, he has an incredible vision from God that gives clarity to what he had heard earlier as he was praying. And you probably know this, but Daniel was known for his prayer life. In fact, it got him in trouble. In Daniel 6, we find Daniel praying 3 times a day. He had a window in his house that he would go to that overlooked the city, and he would pray there. And he was part of a group of 120 people, men, who'd been appointed as leaders there in their town. And all these guys, they really didn't like Daniel, but Daniel 6 says that they couldn't find anything wrong with how he lived his life. He had high integrity. He wasn't corrupt. He wasn't negligent. And in Daniel 6 verse 5, they said, finally, these men said, we will never find any basis for charges against this man Daniel unless it's something to do with the law of his God. How many of you think that's a pretty incredible statement? They're like, we can find nothing wrong except he loves God a whole lot. So they created this obscure law. They got the king to approve it. And the law said, you can't pray to anyone except the king for 30 days. But Daniel, he continued to pray to the one true God. He said, I'm not going to pray to the king. I'm going to pray to God. And if you remember this, they trapped him in this law, and they threw him in a pit full of lions. And I'm just saying, Daniel was known for prayer. He comes to Daniel chapter 10, and he's using fasting as one of the disciplines to get closer to the Lord, to hear the Lord, to get clarity from the Lord. And he does this for 21 days. So 2 quick thoughts as it relates to the 21 days. Number 1, the length of your fast is not nearly as important as the focus on God during your fast. Here's what I'm telling you. 21 days is not the magic number. You could fast a meal, you could fast a day, you could fast 3 days or 7 days or 21 days or whatever. The magic is not the number. We're setting the number in January as 21 days. And I'll get to this because I think it's long enough and short enough. But it's not about the amount of days. It's about how we're doing it. It's about the focus that we're putting on the Lord. Our family actually did a 3-day fast this week. There was a decision that we're trying to make, and so we just made a decision. We asked one another, hey, what if we fasted for 3 days and asked the Lord to provide clarity on this decision? And I'm telling you that because the number is not nearly as important as our hearts as we enter into this fast. And that's why I'm doing a lot of pre-work to try to get you ready. So you're thinking about January, you're preparing and you're ready. And so hopefully we go into January ready for this fast. Secondly, here's my second thought, 21 days is long enough to break habits, to break mindsets, to break the patterns, but it's not so long that it won't break you, okay? What I need you to know is you are going to feel this, all right? If you do it and you do it right, like you're gonna feel it. You might lose a few pounds during this, and if that happens, you are welcome, all right? I'm just here to try to help you. You might be a little hangry at times. Does anyone else get hangry at times? But here's the deal. It's not gonna kill you, okay? It's not gonna kill you. I promise you. It's gonna be hard, but it's not going to break you. What it will do is it will disrupt the patterns. It will help to reset your heart and your mind. And one reason we do it in January is we think January is just a great reset moment. It's a moment to kind of rethink, like what worked in 25, what didn't work in 25, what do I want to change in this new year, how do I want to do things differently. And this is one of the things that Lisa and I have just learned. It's one of our habits, and we're invited you to be part of our habit in January to just join us in this fast. I'll tell you one story. Last year, we were in the middle, or we were getting ready to start the 21-day fast. Lisa and I had a really big life decision that needed to be made, and we were pretty excited that the 21-day fast aligned with this season of our lives, that we knew we had this big decision to make. And so we both we had a list. We made a list, like here's things that we're going to pray about during these 21 days, and that decision was one of those things. And I prayed, and we fasted, and we were talking throughout the whole thing, and a few days in, we're like, have you heard anything? No. Well, let's just keep asking, a few more days. Have you heard anything? No. And we just kept, and on day 21, I'll never forget it. I had just kind of come into the end of my prayer time, and I'm just sitting there, and I was trying to quiet my heart to hear from the Lord. And I prayed a prayer. I said, Lord, I don't think I've heard anything from you about this decision for all 21 days. And I don't want to try to put you on my calendar because you're in charge, but this decision is coming up and I don't want to make it in my own wisdom. So, man, I would really love to hear from you. And I really love to know what you have to say about this. And right then I got quiet and I just listened. I got really quiet. And all of a sudden, day 21, the Lord spoke to me. He gave me absolute clarity on that decision. I remember I took a deep breath. I was like, finally, the pressure is off. I don't have to make this decision. The Lord has spoken. I called Lisa. We talked about it. She had confirmation. I'm just telling you, like, this is part of how we make big decisions in our lives. Fasting is one of those habits that we have, and I'd love for you to be a part of it. We're going to do it for 21 days. I hope this helps answer.